it going, everybody? Welcome to the Reseller Island podcast. My name is Jake, and this is Sunny. Today, we wanted to open up the podcast by talking about some kind of expert reselling tips that many of you guys in the community may disagree with. A lot of speculation and even morality comes up when it comes to these types of tips. So I'll just hop right into it. I just barely got back from an estate sale. Today is Friday that we're recording, and the estate sale doesn't start until tomorrow. I saw this estate sale on Facebook Marketplace. It clearly said Saturday and Sunday only, but I just drove to it because it was actually just like four streets down from my place. Drove over to it, and as I drove past it, the guy was already in the garage and he was organizing things, and it was very, very unorganized. And so I rolled down my window and I said, "Hey, is this the estate sale?" And he said, "Yeah, but we're not doing it until tomorrow." And then before I could even ask, he said, "Well, you can come take a look if you want." And I scored big time. I got a Bose system worth over $700 that are going to be parting out. I got a Vitamix. I got a Bose Wave radio. I got a Sony CD DVD recorder that goes for like $300, and I got all of that for just $100. And I'm even going to go back tonight at like 5 or 6 and help him organize. And he's also going to give me a ton of deals before the estate sale even opens tomorrow.
That's exactly what I just did just a few days ago. The really cool thing about this is that most people don't think about the process of estate sales until you experience it or somebody informs you of it, right? It doesn't just, it's not like
Fig Newton?
normal yard sales.
Is that a Fig Newton?
What's that?
Is that a Fig Newton in your hand?
Yeah. I just got out the gym, so I'm like, I need a little bit of energy.
Healthy Fig Newton. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. If those can even be healthy.
What I've learned from an estate seller, and she's an entrepreneur, this woman. So she got in contact, or her friend contacted her saying, just random talk, that he wished he knew somebody that could just do these estate sales. He does estates, like he sells homes, but he doesn't want to mess with the things in it, and he just wants to find somebody to do it and have a partnership. And she's a reseller and said, well, that's pretty much what I do. And in her mind, she could get first dibs. And then it becomes so much that she gets what she wants, but then she invited me and said, hey, come over and pretty much do what you just did. Almost the same difference. I helped her out. I picked out some things. I didn't get everything I could have. I don't feel that's right. And that's part of the morals you just talked about. What is right and what is wrong? This was an opportunity. You took your own opportunity to chance it. And unless you're not trying to make your own doors, sometimes you miss out and you're late to the party. Even if you're there early in the morning, somebody else may do it. Just 2 weeks ago, I ended up buying a bundle of vintage t-shirts for $200. The guy wasn't even expecting for me to just say how much for everything, but he's hooked me up in the past very well. It's almost like a pay it forward, and I know he's not going to rip me off. It's a good, I guess, friendship or business that we got going on. So he was telling me about something about Facebook as well, that he had ended up seeing these vintage t-shirts for $20 each. These t-shirts are like $400 or $500, and there's like 20 t-shirts. He just messaged the person rather than waiting the next day to come over when she was available that she posted, and he ended up scoring them. But he ended up telling her, look, I'm going to go get them right now. I'm not going to lowball you. I'm going to get you what you want. I'm going to buy all of the t-shirts, but can you take it off the listing of Facebook so that way somebody doesn't come in and say, hey, I'll buy it for $100.
Yeah.
Because he said people have done that as well, where they outbid or offered more and they said, sorry, I can't sell it to you. I've already gave it to somebody else because they gave me more. And then they just want it off their hands, like you said.
Yeah. No, I even, along with that, I even told the guy, because I'm like, so when are you actually opening tomorrow? And he's like, I think at 8. And I'm like, okay, just so you know, like here in St. George, the estate sale is crazy. They're crazy here. Because I talked to him. So his father just died. And so he's came from out of state. He's just putting everything out. He's sleeping in a sleeping bag in the estate. And then he's just selling everything tomorrow. And I'm like, okay, sweet. So it's scheduled for 8 tomorrow. People are going to be knocking on your door at 6:30 a.m. Like, that's the scene here. And he's like, oh, okay. Well, honestly, like, I prefer that. Like, I really hope that this garage is just completely cleaned out and I don't have to bring anything with me to my storage unit. I'm like, oh, that's exactly what I want to hear, you know? And so that is when you got to get, that is when you need, so this is a tip for estate sales and garage sales and even mom and pop thrift stores. You want to gauge prices as soon as possible because he had a ton of really good stuff in there. I haven't even seen everything yet. But if I went and I grabbed the Vitamixer and I put it down, and then I grabbed the Bose Wave system, and then I grabbed the Bose equipment, and then I'm like, okay, how much do you want for all this? And he's like, 1,000. It's like, oh, okay, no, yeah, man, we're way off. And some
Way off.
people do that, especially at estate sales. So you want to get, because I asked him about the first item, and he's like, I don't know, man. Like, I just really don't know prices on anything. I was gonna do a ton of research tonight, and then I just said, like, very, very, like, gently and jokingly, and just like being his friend kind of thing. I said, okay, well, I just need to know if you're like looking at $1 or $1,000, 20. Like, it just, I don't know. Basically, I want to know, like, are you gonna try
Where
to
you
get
at?
eBay prices for this, or do you actually want your garage to be cleaned out? And so then he's like, yeah, on the Vitamix, I'll do $5. I'm like, okay, this is going to be a great little partnership.
So there's something you said too, that this person, this estate seller that I've linked up with, said the same thing you just said of after everything's done, they just want as little as possible to have to deal with.
Yep.
So talk to these people that have these estate sales and ask them, what do you do with this stuff afterwards? Because you might come across some gems after all that is filtered out, just like when you go to a thrift store or somewhere else after the end of the day, it's already been picked through. But people have shown time and time again that you can still find some amazing stuff. And if you're getting it for free, why not use it if it works with your business plan of what you got going on? I am looking at getting more into it with this person, and I am waiting for this huge hoard house estate sale that we're going to have a whole week before it even opens. And what's crazy about this, she said that it's like a real hoard house. It doesn't really stink or anything. It smells like a thrift store, but it is layers of clothes from decades.
Yeah.
So
That's
for me,
interesting.
it's the layers that start on the bottom, like the tree trunk as it grows out. You know, you have these layers, and the deeper I get into, I'm pretty sure I'm going to have layers of vintage stuff. Even if it's $5, $10, I know the deals are going to be pretty good. And I've already invited friends and have asked if I could bring people over, and she said yes. So I'm selecting people, close friends of mine. I'm not just like inviting anybody. Like these are
Uh-huh.
worthy people because there's so much stuff. They're not going to be able to get all this through. So I'm pretty excited about that. But I'm
So,
also curious what other people are going to think of that's wrong, or why are you going to do that? Why don't we get first dibs? When you start your business and you get to this point, if you're not already, you're going to realize you've earned this spot for somebody to consider you to come in into their business and possibly working with them. So I'm looking at also advertising them in my videos, but I'm also very curious and a little worried about what people are going to think like that's wrong. Back to the morals.
mhm. Okay, we just have to clarify because you are in Vegas. You said a hoard house, right? Like
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
hoard house? Okay, okay,
Hoard.
yeah.
Nah, not a whorehouse. Hoard.
Hoard.
Sometimes that's my
Okay,
accent.
yeah. No, no, I'm just making a joke. Yeah. So people do think that this is morally wrong, and I don't think this is, so this is how you become a successful business owner, is opening your mouth and making connections and providing value for different contexts. So we provide value as resellers by recycling, like upcycling things. I forgot the word for it, but just like making it so things don't go for the landfill, or making hard to find items available at a market price. But we can create so much more value in other partnerships, and this is what can really get your business going. Is, you know what, that guy that I'm talking about and the situation that you're talking about, they need things gone. So the first thing you can do to provide value for them is just give them money for stuff. But also a very awesome, valuable thing that you can do for them is you can clear out some stuff. And so you can benefit them by taking a ton of items, and they can benefit you by giving you those items for cheap. And so it's a mutual agreement, it's a mutual beneficiary for both parties, is that I can provide this value for you, you can provide this value for me, and we both come out on top. We both achieve our goal in this business transaction.
Yeah, and it's not a one-time thing. It could be an ongoing thing, and then word of mouth on
Yep.
their end could lead you to other people. And if it doesn't work for you, you could always point it in somebody else saying, I got somebody that's interested. It doesn't always have to be about yourself. And that's where I come in on my side where I love to plug people in and work on community building. And that's another way of paying it forward for the good that I'm doing and have learned from other people to where it's like you could have it. I already have enough. I'm not selfish.
Yeah. So in high school, my best friend's name was Ryan. And Ryan's parents had this rule. He had a pretty strict curfew, even on weekends, like he had to be home at 10 p.m. And he was not allowed to have sleepovers ever. Like he just like I couldn't sleep at his house and he couldn't sleep at my house. And we were best friends, best friends. I had an awesome relationship with his parents. He had an awesome relationship with mine, but we still could not have sleepovers together. It was just his mom's rule. So his mom had this contact with some lawyer somehow that was in charge of cleaning out estates and getting the elderly to rest homes when it was necessary. So there was this lady who was living on her own, and then she had an assistant come and help her out for 4 or 5 hours a day, but other than that she was pretty self-dependent. Then she developed Alzheimer's very, very quickly, and so they moved her to a home. That lawyer contacted my best friend's mom and said, "Hey, does your son?" She had two sons that were older. She said, "Do your two sons want to come bubble wrap everything, put it in large Home Depot boxes, and then put it on a truck for us? We're willing to pay $18 an hour." And this was in 2014. So for
Good
Ryan
money.
and I, that was money in the bank. It'll be so funny if she watches this. So we saw this as an opportunity to make some money, and we concocted a plan to finally get our very first sleepover together. So we went to this little house. We started bubble wrapping everything, and then while we were there, we texted his mom, and they're like, "Hey, they're actually going to pay us time and a half if we can spend the night here, so that way no one comes in and steals all the stuff." So she's like, "Okay." So we got our first sleepover in. But why I'm telling this story is because about a year ago, I was like thinking of advanced ways of sourcing. How could I get more products? And then I remembered, oh, I wonder if Ryan's mom still has that guy's number. I got it from her. I called him and I said, "Hey, what do you guys do with the stuff?" And they're like, "Oh, we either give it to the parents' children, but 8 out of 10 of them come and take 10 to 15 mementos, and then they just ship everything else out to an estate company." And I'm like, "Can I come and hand pick and buy some stuff?" And he's like, "Of course, man." And he's like, he doesn't care. So like he gives me really good stuff for 50 cents, a dollar, $5. And that's another connection that I've used recently. It's only worked out 2 times, but I still get it every once in a while.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that it took me all this time of these 6+ years of reselling to start opening up my eyes of rather than let me just go to thrift stores because that's what I did for the longest time because of the work constraints that I had. I worked during the daytime hours, so by the time I got off, everything was closed, even majority of the food places. And then I worked weekends, so I never really made yard sales or estate sales.
Yep.
Like my weekends were Monday and Tuesday, not the best days. But even then, I was spending time with my wife at because Taco Bell. I was spending time with my wife because when she worked, we only had one day out of the several years of working. I was
Hmm.
reselling and working a full-time job. She was working full-time in the medical field and still is. And we only had one day together. So I wasn't trying to spend that one day outsourcing. I would just spend time with her. Once in a blue moon, she would go out thrifting with me. But now that I've become a full-time reseller, it's really worked out for me to really expand. And one of my biggest goals when I started reselling full-time, I
Hmm.
said I want to be more involved in the community. I want to get to know more resellers and I want to travel more. And I've been doing that ever since. And it's been a lot of fun to have those goals and reach them and look back and still see that it's still part of what I'm doing, but on a much bigger scale. And it's still just like not even the tip of the iceberg. I'm still climbing up on this mountain, figuring things out, and it's just mind blowing how kind of simple it is if you're just not focused on niching down, open up to other people.
Yeah. You briefly mentioned thrift stores. This one people really don't like. I haven't even tried this at Deseret Industries, Savers, or Goodwill because they're just like actual big established companies. But all of the mom and pop thrift stores in town have a cardboard box in the back that says Jake on it. Because they see me come in all the time. I'm very personal and friendly with them. And I tell them, hey, I sell on eBay. And I look for specifically remotes, cameras, and iPods. Because those are really small and a lot other people really don't. Some, like especially the mom and pop companies, they'll put out digital cameras and they'll just sit and sit and sit. So they're like, oh yeah, we'll put all of those things aside for you, and I just have a route each day during the calendar month that I go to this one and then this one and then this one, and there's a box of remote controls for me for 25 cents each, or there's a box of cameras there for me for $2 each.
You do love your remotes.
Oh, I love remotes, but they've been super dry lately. There are less and less remotes available recently for some reason.
Yeah. I mean, they're lightweight, easy to ship. They're not
Oh
hard.
yeah.
Like I love things like that aren't huge and big. But some things are worth getting. Some big things are worth getting for the size and weight.
Oh yeah,
For the
for sure. I mean,
profits.
I just got a huge Vitamix mixer, and
Yeah,
you know,
another one.
yep. But yeah, there's another really cool tip. Shout out to Justin Resells. A lot of you guys probably know him and his channel and have watched his stuff, but he has a very, I don't use this term lightly. This can potentially be a life-changing video for a lot of you. I forgot exactly what it's called, but it's something along the lines of like how to trick or game the Facebook algorithm to show you the most recent items. So a lot of us source on Facebook Marketplace, and if you're not, you should. But what happens is the way that Facebook Marketplace is set up now is it's set up kind of like Facebook. It shows you what they think you want. So if I go to Facebook Marketplace and I search yard sale, which I do frequently, then it's going to show me yard sales from 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, and even last week. And obviously, we don't want to see those because we're looking for sales that are going on tomorrow or the next day, or if you're looking on a Wednesday, this weekend. So Justin shows us with code. You have to do this on your desktop. He shows us with code and he puts that code in the description. You attach those 3 code bars into your URL and it filters out everything for you. So it only shows items listed in the last 24 hours. So if you're looking for Pokemon cards, you can see the ones that were just barely listed 7 minutes ago or 2 hours ago, instead of the ones that have been online for 8 weeks, 8 days. If you're looking for yard sales this weekend, you can filter it to only show you yard sale listings that have been posted in the last 3 days. So that way you're not wasting your time filtering through which ones were up 3 weeks ago and which ones were up today. So I definitely recommend everyone checking out that video. Do you know Justin Resells? Sonny?
I'm following them, I believe, on my main page.
Yeah.
I'm on my new daily vlog channel. I'm not subscribed to him on that. I'll just keep it on the other page. But I'll bring it up right here to show people. That's what I was pulling up right now.
Oh, can you share your screen?
Yeah.
Sicko mode. We'll also timestamp this in the description. So Sonny, make a note to put 1848, and we'll put that in the description. But yeah, it's that first one. What eBay? No, this is just his channel. Let's see if we can find it real quick.
Let me scroll down.
Type in just.
I need to
Facebook.
work on 2 monitors.
Yeah, I need to do that. I'm actually okay. Yeah, just type. It says how to bypass the Facebook Marketplace algorithm to see the most recent listings. It was from 10 months ago. Just type in Justin Resells Facebook. Should pull it up. That's what I searched. There you go. Hacking Facebook Marketplace right there. Okay, so timestamp 1931.
1931.
Yeah, no, so Facebook Marketplace was kind of challenging for me to source on because I was running into those issues. And I kind of figured out how to filter it superficially. But then I found this video. I probably saw it 6 months ago, so 4 months after it came out, and he put that code to put in the URL. Wow, Facebook market sourcing has become a game changer for my business. So I definitely, huge shout out to Justin Resells and to that video specifically. It's a really good one.
Real talk. Starting at
But yeah. Oh, sweet. You're able to save it.
Yeah, folks, that's another thing too on your channels, like mentioning this that J Ray's doing. Go to those videos if you don't have time and make sure to save it. There's a lot of times where I come across great videos and content and I just forget what it is, and then I get frustrated of not finding it to where I lose it. So saving it is a really good thing. You could have it to where it's incognito, where you don't want people to see what you're saving, or you could have different lists and categorize it as well. A lot of people don't take advantage of that on YouTube, but I do it quite often.
It's good to see that I'm the 5th recommended video on the right sidebar. So that's good.
All right.
Online sourcing to sell.
Those expressions are classic.
I know, they're great, huh? But yeah, do you have any of those more advanced tips that people may be like,
No, not really. I've said this before, folks. I am very basic when it comes to stuff, but basic could get you a long way. I am working on improving and upscaling my business, like we continue to talk about, even if it's on your own with your friends. But no, I don't have like really advanced tips other than I'm really big on people. So that's my biggest tip is networking. Talk to people, really work with them well. Don't screw people over because you don't know who they know, and then you just blacklist yourself. So be good, do good, and you'll receive good karma.
Unfortunately, that is controversial, is networking and making connections. For some reason, people say, oh, well, you're only good at this job because you have these connections and suppliers. It's like,
because you got 30,000 subscribers.
Yeah, but not even that, just like
because you got beautiful hair.
Yeah, but it's like, why do people hate on? I don't know. Like, some people treat reselling as a hobby, and that's perfectly fine. Like, this is one of the greatest hobbies out there. So that's great for you. But like, if you want to make a full-time living, you might be able to do it from thrifting and yard sales alone if you have either really good thrift stores or really good yard sale area. But you can't really go full-time unless you go outside of that. And I'm not talking flea markets, but I am talking about making connections with people at the flea markets, or making connections with storage unit buyers, or making connections with auction houses, making connections with the mom and pop thrift stores. If you don't make connections, I don't think you can go full-time without connections. There may be a handful of people out there, but it's nearly impossible in my opinion.
I believe that I feel like you can stay full-time and do good without connections, but you'll do so much more connecting with people.
Yeah.
It won't work out every time, every week, every month, but it'll end up paying out time to time again of having these really great deals that are just for you.
Yeah, I think it's really important to just make those connections. Dude, the UPS just dropped off my bubble wrap for the week, and my dog is barking. Oh my goodness. Let's go get her calmed down real quick. Another really good tip that some people might necessarily not like. Come here, Scout. Let's go potty. Is when you see these Facebook yard sale listings and you see a PlayStation 3 and you specialize in video games, or you see a vintage starter jacket and a shark tooth hat, message them and say, hey, I would like to buy those right now. And a lot of people will say, no early birds, just come to the sale, and that's all right. But I don't know, 4 out of 10 people will say, okay, yeah, the address is in the description. Just head on over and we can make a deal. Or they'll tell you, yeah, I mean, I'll give it to you for $5. Just come grab it. Because again, those people just want to get rid of everything. Now, if they say no, then don't push it. Just go see them tomorrow at the yard sale. But a lot of times you can see something in these photos and say, hey, I really want that Ninja Turtle toy. Do you know how much you want for it? And can I come grab it right now? And a lot of people will not even respond. But a few people will say, oh yeah, $6, come grab it.
Yeah. Do you have any more things like that? That's another thing too, is don't just
There you go.
settle for that one thing. Ask. There
Yep.
was a yard sale last year, a community yard sale, and I went inside the garage, and it was mostly women's stuff, grandma's type stuff. Like, and when I went, I was like, "Ah, all right." And the guy said, "Oh, what are you looking for?" I was like, "You know what? Right now, I'm really into hats, like just old school hats, modern hats. It doesn't
Yep.
doesn't matter. I'm just." The wife looks over and was like, "Ask him, keep asking him." And he was like, "Well, I got hats. My wife would like me to, let them go. If you got a minute, come back around, in about 5 minutes." So I went
Yep.
in the neighborhood. It was just a little loop around, and I went back, and this guy had 40 something hats. And I'm like, you know what? I asked, like, how much do you want for all of this? Like, they were okay hats. Some of them were really good, but most of them were just plain Jane. I could make a couple of bucks on. And he was like, well, it'll make my wife really happy to get rid of this stuff. How about $10?
Yep.
And I countered with 40 something hats. I was like, I'll give you $20.
Uh-huh.
And he was like, really? I was like, yeah, I just, that's your
50
time
cents a
of getting
hat.
it.
Let's go.
Yeah. And he was like, all right, done. The wife just says, thank you. And
Yep.
it looked like he was really good about letting it go. There are some times though where I've encountered people where they want to let go of things, and then you see that emotional attachment, and I'll question them. Are you sure you don't
Like,
want it
sure.
for yourself? I don't need
Yeah.
it. And some people won't do that. And back to the morals. Some people morals are different. They don't care. They want the profit. But I am an emotional guy, and last thing I want to do is let go of something and then regret it.
Yeah. Another tip that I wasn't even thinking about, but you just reminded me of, is I typically make more money at yard sales if it's a husband and wife duo, because you can ask, hey, do you guys have any golf clubs? And then the wife will say, yeah, we do, honey, it's time. Or, hey, yeah, honey, go grab yours, make him a deal. Or the opposite, hey, do you guys have any like jewelry or makeup? And the husband will say, oh yeah, we do, honey, go get your Estee Lauder that I bought you for Christmas in 2016 that's still sealed that you've never used. I'm gonna use it. No, just go grab it. Let's just get rid of it. Okay. Like that happens a lot too, and there's some psychology behind it, because most people
Are
meeting a
afraid of the
stranger,
wives.
yeah, that's true too. But most people meeting a stranger don't want to have a negative experience whatsoever. So most people get really awkward when you ask for something, and they get awkward that they don't want to say no. So a lot of people will say no, but a lot of people will be like, yeah, I mean, I have some golf clubs or baseball bats that we haven't used in forever. Let me go grab them, let's just see. And then they'll go grab them, they'll bring them to you, and then a lot of times they'll sell them to you. So again, it's just opening your mouth, going further than just the garage sale. Like when I did summer sales, when I would sell pest control to people, I would say, yeah, we're just a few of your neighbors just have like some ants and spiders. And then some people would say, oh, I have some ants too. And I'd say, oh, can you show me? And if they said, yeah, come on, guaranteed sale. But if I just stayed on the porch, my chances of actually getting the sale go down. But if I say, oh yeah, can you show me that? They bring me into their kitchen, they open up the dishwasher and there's little ants, guaranteed sale. Or they take me around the back, they show me a hornet's nest, guaranteed sale. But if I just stay on the porch, so if you just stay in the driveway or on the garage of the garage sale, you're going to get a lot of good things. But then if you say, oh, show me more, do you have more? Well, people will bring them out to you, or they'll even invite you in their house and say, yeah, here they are. What do you want?
Yeah. Then they tell you to go downstairs, and they
Oh,
look down
that's
at you and say, put the lotions on the skins.
no, but those are you were making a joke, but those are the viral videos where like Chase After the Right Price, they're a video game reselling channel. I'm not sure if you know them, but they had a viral video because they asked, hey, do you have more video games? And the guy's like, yeah, follow me. Takes them downstairs, and there's like hundreds and thousands of video games, and he like lets go of 20-25%. He's like, a lot of this is my personal collection that I don't want to touch, but I should filter down a little bit. And they just start giving him a ton of GameCube games and stuff, and they made a ton of money off of it because they asked for more.
Yeah, ladies and gents watching this, thank you for joining us. what has been your biggest score yet? It could be one item, it could be multiple items. Tell us about it in the comments.
Yeah. But yeah, how has your sourcing been going lately?
I mean, I haven't done very much store organizing. It's coming along well. It's so good that I'm not seeing my wife being flustered about it and
Mm-hmm.
looking like I know she's gonna turn around and tell me something. So that's really good, that relationship part. But the private estate, so for myself, just like you, that went very well. I'm gonna plan on doing the next sale soon. But lately, I've just been getting ready also for Whatnot. Today is again Friday the 19th. I have Whatnot sponsored raid train, and I hope to do good. Get some stuff out here.
I don't want to talk about this a lot yet, but I had a nice Amazon score yesterday. So a few months ago I started selling on Amazon as well. I'm eventually going to make some videos on it, but I don't want to make a video on Amazon until I have the authority, that the sales data, things like that. So I'm not talking about it yet, but I did find 40 um, open box to brand new Moen shower heads,
Yeah, great
and
brand.
already shipped off all of those to, I think 29 of them are going to Vegas, and then 11 are going to Salt Lake, and they'll be selling Amazon FBA. I got the whole box for $40, so $1 a shower head, and their sales price is $28 on Amazon. So it's gonna be a really nice flip. Have you ever sold on Amazon?
No, when I attempted to get into it, you just reminded me of why I didn't when you talked about Amazon.
Ungating.
It is when people say, "I'm going to teach you a how-to video,"
Yep.
and then you do this, and then you're looking for this. Oh, wait, I forgot to show you this part. And then it's too back and forth. I feel it's
Yep.
intentional rather than just being straightforward and teaching somebody because that's what their intentions are. So I feel like it's a
I'm gonna
misleading
disrupt all
clickbait,
that.
and it drives me nuts. So that amongst dozens of them that felt like
Yep.
hundreds, I just gave up. I never tried it. I don't know if I want to, but it does sound very well for some people. I'm just never been big on Amazon like that, but maybe one day I'll try in the future.
Again, I don't want to talk about it a lot because I wouldn't even consider myself an intermediate yet, still a beginner. But the reason why Amazon is so hard is because you can't just go sell Moen or Delta. I can't just go sell Moen. I have to go to Moen directly and buy one of their products in bulk and have them send me an authorized invoice, or I need to get an email from some higher ups from the company saying that I have permission to actually sell their stuff online. The ungating process on Amazon is brutal. Like, it's if you once you learn how to do it, like, it's pretty easy. I got ungated in Lego in under a day, and Adidas in under a day. But it is hard if you don't know what you're doing. And that's why I always recommend people to sell on eBay and not Amazon, because and now it's even harder to sell on Amazon because they're having like demand and low stock issues. So now they're like saying like, hey, if you don't have the product, then we're gonna, like, you can have 40 units, and then once it gets down to 10, you have to send us more, or we're just gonna discard your listings. Like, a lot of things like that is going on. So it's
The quota.
it's a completely different beast. But yeah, that was really good. Good shower heads. It was good stuff. And I
I can't
think that I'll be able to continue to get more of them from this place that I got it from.
I can't remember what was the brand of the name of the shower head, but I'm gonna look it up.
Mm-hmm.
Try to at least. It did well. I got it at a when I find out the name, I'll tell everybody. But I ended up getting it for $50, which I don't spend $50 much on anything
Mm-hmm.
unless I'm confident off of the research I looked up. But this one was worth getting from what I seen, and it sold after 3 months for $350. So I've been trying to look for more, but I hear more
Wow.
of Moen than anything, and I do come across Moen, but not all of it is worth reselling. But
No.
there's a lot out there. I see brand new in boxes and stuff, but maybe I should look more into it.
Yeah, and you can also come on, Scout. You can also get them from Lowe's, Home Depot on clearance, but you just always have to remember there's a reason why things are on clearance. If
Mhm.
there's only one or two of them, it's because they were returned in unsellable condition. So there's a piece missing, or a piece is broken or stained. And then if there's a ton of them, it means there wasn't any demand for that product. So that might be a regional thing. Maybe just people in your area weren't interested in the item, but it is selling well online. Or it just is not, it was a flop product and there's no demand anywhere. So even if you get them for $6, you're going to be stuck with a ton of products that's not selling online on eBay, Facebook, Amazon, all that good stuff. But yeah, any more sourcing this week?
I actually want to go back to that estate sale
Yeah.
to go and get the just like do maybe a short for content to put up
Yeah.
today to help them out. They're not too far from me, and my wife's car. Jay called me earlier, and we were trying to get on earlier, or he was, or post rescheduled us, but there's some things that I had to do, like my wife's car. We want to go take, and that estate so wasn't too far from there, so when that's is ready. I'm probably gonna stop by there real quick, see how she's doing, and then come over and share it. I mean, yeah, my
Yeah.
thoughts are all over the place because I think they're trying to call, but I'm good. They could wait.
Yeah. Well, I got a super huge score at a very, very tiny thrift store that I only go to like once every 2 or 3 months. But I got 14 golf clubs. The majority of them are wedges, and all of them were $2. It was awesome. 2 of them go for over $100.
Wow.
Like 5 of them go between 60 and 90, and then all of the rest of them go for at least 25 to 40. And it was all Cleveland, and I mean, I can show you guys. I already drafted the 5 best ones, but oh no, this one. So this one goes for 100. This is the Big Bertha Callaway B21. This is a really nice one. Ping, the G15 7-iron. Just all name brand golf clubs. $2 each. And if any of you guys are here in my St. George area and want to try to compete with me or put me out of business, it was at the Catholic Thrift Store in Hurricane, right off of Main Street.
Did you end up going to the small thrift store, the new one here in Vegas?
No. So I thought it was going to be like closer to your area. So I'll probably just hit it up the next time I go to Vegas and see how it's going. Because you said they have like pretty cheap electronics and they actually kind of test things too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their stuff's pretty cool. I like it. There was a lot of the electronics I seen were still in boxes, and some of them did look older, and then many of them also looked newer, modern type.
So do you think they get some like Amazon return pallets and things like that too?
No. From what I overheard, the manager, this is a family mom and pop store. The manager said that her relatives that actually own it, they just do yard sales and estate sales. Like they go thrifting and buy this stuff and then resell it to other people.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fascinating to hear that. But no, they don't do Amazon liquidations and stuff like that.
Yeah. Good stuff. No, yeah, I'm interested to check them out for sure. I'll definitely be doing that next time I'm in Vegas. But yeah, good stuff. I don't know. Sourcing has been really, really good this week. I've got a video coming out. It's coming out today, actually, in a couple hours. It's actually some pretty bad news, but
Is that J-Ride flips or picks?
J-Ride flip. No, J-Ride. Yeah, J-Ride flips. It's pretty disappointing. I've actually been pretty stressed about it for the whole week, but I'll just share a little bit of it here. It's going to be live in a few hours, and then this is going live on Sunday, so it will have already been talked about for over the weekend. But my eBay shop is going to be below standard for 90 days. It's awful, man.
Why is that?
So over the last like 25-ish days, I've had like 7 customers messaging me saying, hey, when is my item going to get here? When is my item going to get here? When is my item going to get here? A lot more than usual. And then I looked, and all of a sudden I had like, on one day I got 2 item not received cases. The next day I got 2 more. The next day I got 1. And then the next day I got 2 more. So 7 total. And all 7 of them, it saw that it made it to my facility here in St. George, but it never made it out. And I think that on the way from this facility to Vegas or wherever the packages were going to go to next, I think the truck rolled and that those packages are just completely lost. So I called eBay because I'm like, man, like 7 people. This has never happened to me before. So what do I do? And like, I'm willing to refund them because like it was a ton of small stuff. It's only like $138 worth of product. So like that sucks, but I don't care. Like it's not a huge deal as long as I can avoid negative feedbacks and defects. But I called them and they said, yeah, just on the request, just update the tracking info. And then I'm like, but I thought that's only like when it's delivered. And they're like, yeah, but in this case, like just keep updating it like every 3 days and just let your customers know that like they should be arriving. And if not, then they can just contact eBay directly. And I'm like, okay. So I did that. And then one day I woke up to 3 defects, unresolved seller never received resolution or something like resolution, whatever that is.
Mhm.
And then the day after that, 2 more, and the day after that, 2 more. So 7 defects. So I called eBay, and they took off 2 of them. So like I could only get all 7 of them are the exact same situation, but they only took off 2. So now 5 of them are sitting on my account, and that's enough to be above 0.3% for the next 90 days. So I'm going to be below standard, and it sucks.
So you said it showed up that it was received from the
Yep.
post office, but then it was still your fault.
Yeah. So the reason why I'm getting the defect is because they didn't get their item and they didn't get a refund from me. And then when they called eBay refunded them with my funds and then gave me the defects. Even though I was completely willing to give them the refund, but the eBay rep said, "No, just keep updating it. It'll be fine."
Oh man, so this is why I do not share my eBay information. I'm not
Yeah.
saying it's because of viewers. There's some haters out there. I'm not saying they're haters, but I'm saying
Uh-huh.
I've had things in the past that people have threatened me with, "Oh, I'm going to take your eBay down," and I'm like, "Why?" Because somebody said something about me. It has
Uh-huh.
nothing to do with your life. You're going to ruin somebody else's. And this went dark just a little bit, folks, but that's why I protect myself from not sharing certain information. And that's why I also have 2 eBay stores. And I only share information about one eBay store and what items sell on that. I don't share other things that I put on the other one. So that way, because people will look. I've had people, I try to look for
Oh,
that exact,
people look at my.
you know,
If you type
they
in
try
J
to look
Ride
for that
Flips
one
into
photo or
Google.
background like that looks like theirs. And it's just like, like
Uh-huh.
I don't want what I have and worked on for years ruined because of somebody's opinion about me that they might have heard from somebody else.
Yeah. If you type into Google J Ride Flips, the first thing that auto populates is J Ride Flips eBay store, which I'm open about. It's 21 J Ride for anyone wants to check it out. But yeah, people are constantly looking at my store all the time, which it just comes with the territory of being in the niche, because you and I are in the same niche, but I'm even in a sub niche of like actually educating about processes and stuff. And so if people can't see my store, then that would be like super shady and I'd lose subscribers or whatever. But so I'm open about it, but I understand why you're not. But yeah, dude, like this sucks, man. Like I
That
don't know.
that does suck because
And
it did
like
show us tracking and it was on the end of USPS. If it was USPS, then that's why I do believe in valuable items to get it insured. But even then, so to say that they didn't receive it, they could have easily just got the refund and just settled there. But
yeah.
that's a lot all at
I
once.
definitely would have just, and I know a lot of people wouldn't do this and like, but I would have just refunded them on the spot right there. Just be like, hey, like if this is going to result in me getting defects and I'm probably going to lose, I don't know. I'm expecting. I'm going to talk about all of this in the video, but I guess you guys are just getting second wind of it. But I'm predicting that my sales will go down 30%, and then they'll go down an additional 10% because of seasonality. And then they're going to charge me an extra 5% because I'm below standard. So like, that's a big deal. Like I'm going to lose thousands and thousands of dollars over the next 90 days. And luckily, like I practice what I preach. So like I'm a full-time entrepreneur. So that means I have 6 months worth of bills at least in my bank account. And
Mm.
I have other streams of income. But like to say I'm like, so like I'm fine. Like even if I make $0 from eBay over the next 90 days, like I'm completely taken care of. And that's not going to happen. I'm still going to get plenty of sales and stuff. But yeah, my revenue from eBay is probably going to get very, very shot, which sucks.
Yeah,
But
that does suck.
what I'm more stressed about. I'm almost not even stressed financially whatsoever about it, but I'm super stressed that like I'm gonna lose a little bit of reputation within the space, and like a lot of people are gonna like. And I'm not being insecure about it. I'm just being like an actual like thinking about it. It's like a
Realistic.
lot of people are gonna be like, "Oh, you're lying. Like this is completely your fault, and you're not as good at reselling as you say you are." And I'm not gonna watch your channel or things like that. So that's
Well,
what I'm
that's I
stressed
think
about.
people say if somebody says that, my opinion is that they were already not going to follow you anyways, and they
Yeah,
probably aren't following you as a supporter. They're waiting for you to fail, but there's a
yeah,
lot of people out there that are wanting you to succeed, and you've helped succeed. That's what I was focused on. But I
yeah.
would be bummed too, for sure.
Yeah, this it's pretty dumb, that's for sure. But yeah, but even still, I take responsibility for this. I should have known to just like, because the second that they said no, just keep updating the tracking, I'm like, from what I know, that's wrong. And I know that eBay changes every day, every week, every month, but I'm pretty sure that that's wrong. And I should have just known that that was wrong and just refunded the buyers. But man, instead of losing, and they took the $138 of all those cases from my funds anyway. So it's like, so now instead of losing $138, now I'm gonna lose tens of thousands, which it's great. It's awesome.
Yeah, I'd rather refund people and lose that money, which really is only losing what you invested in and the potential profits you could have made.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
for it to affect for a moment a future of your time of sales, yeah, that's the big hit right there.
Yeah. And the rep said if these items show delivered, then those defects will be taken off, which I don't believe either. Like, I think even if they get delivered, like the defect is still going to stay. But
Yeah.
it's like this happened to me like 3 months ago. And like it was fine because it was only one. Like it made it all the way. It made it like 1,400 miles away from me, but it still had to make its way to Maine, and it just never got past that facility. And then someone did a case, and it just kind of slipped through the cracks or whatever, and then it ended up being um, a what's it called, a defect, and that's actually dropping tomorrow on the 20th because that happened like 85 days ago or whatever. So it'll drop off, but like that package never got there, so like I know that these packages are never going to get there, but even if they did, I still don't think the defects would be taken away. Even if I pulled up that recorded call, I still think they would be like, well, that's just our system, so whatever.
Yeah, I've had this was years ago. I had an order go out overseas, Europe somewhere, and it was for a vintage. I forget the actual player's name. Again, folks, I'm not big in sports, but I this was a vintage Flacco something football jersey, and the person ended up getting it, and it was about 11 days later, and they said, "Hey, this is." They started ragging on it, saying this is fake and this and that. And I reached out to eBay saying, "Hey, this is what I'm getting." They checked the emails. I had them on the phone with me. It was a lot easier at the time with eBay to plug in their phone number, they call you back, answer, and then you're on the go. Not as easy anymore. But they said, hey, look, just refund them, and they're gonna send the item back, and you're getting. I was like, well, your rules say not to send a refund because they don't have any liability after that to send an item back.
Hmm.
I followed what they said. Even I requested them. No, we got you covered. I know, but you're talking to a representative. We're gonna back you up. They didn't. I ended up losing out on a jersey and then the refund. And I tried to tell myself like it was only $5 that I paid for it, but it was also could have made me $160.
Yeah.
So after that, I ended up taking off the international shipping for everything until about 2 years ago when I was like, you know what, let me give it another try. I might be missing out on some things. And I've been having a lot more international sales recently. They've been picking up.
Yeah. And like I'm still like I still love eBay. It's still like a life-changing opportunity. Like we're literally like a glitch in the matrix here. Like we get to pick things up for $2 and sell them for 60 all the time. But yeah, this definitely sucks. And I still don't even blame eBay, because that is my business principle. It's like everything is within my control, and even things out of my control, it's still like I still can't blame anyone but myself, because if you start that, then it just goes down a hill or whatever. But like I'm still definitely going to continue to sell on eBay, make content about eBay, make a ton of money through eBay. But man, dude, I honestly I think it's going to end up being like really good content for people along the 90 days to see what happens to my store and say, okay, maybe even if you have really fast sell-through rate items, maybe even below standard isn't that bad. Or even if you have fast sell-through rate items, below standard kills your store. It'll be interesting to see what happens over the next 90 days. But I got investments, I got Amazon, I got all that stuff. So I'm not super worried about the eBay income, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't stressed about it, for sure.
It's
'Cause,
that
like,
pride
I
thing.
just
That's
barely
your
got all this
baby, and
really
things
good
are going good, and then all of a sudden, something happens to ruin it. That's out of your control. Is what I feel is bothering you, is that you can't do anything about it because
Yeah,
it's
for
been
sure.
done. And
'Cause, like,
that, I think
I
that's
just
good.
barely
It's going to
got.
show your resilience in this, which you don't even need to prove anything to anybody. But I think people will see, like, oh yeah, maybe mine isn't doing this good, and it's been bad. Because I see people get butthurt about, oh, I got my first negative review. I'm not sure if they mean it and want information like how to resolve it, or is it just to get attention? I'm always conflicted on what these things are, because I see it too often. When you get a negative feedback, you could reply to those. From last I remember, you could reply to it. Even if it's neutral, you could reply with as much characters that it lets you apply to. And sometimes people see that stuff and they'll be
Yeah.
like, you know what, it's not you. But if you have a history of doing good, eventually you're going to run into one person, customer, that is just one of those that does that to everybody. You're not the only person that it happens to. Just roll it off your shoulders, keep
Yeah.
moving forward, and keep making some sales.
Yeah. But yeah, the situation definitely sucks. So
Yeah, I could tell like it bothers you. It would bother me too.
I'm still top rated right now, and I'll be below standard at midnight your time. So, and I'll be there for most likely for 90 whole days. So I'll be out July 20th. Wow, dude, that sucks. But again, I'm going to talk about all of this in the video that I'm about to post, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna focus on getting my store back up to 3,000 items, because I really think that my sales will drop considerably. So I'm just gonna keep listing really good items, get my store back up to 3,000, and then it'll be rocking and rolling in time for the holidays and for Q4 and stuff like that. So
Are you still selling on Whatnot?
I not really. I've only done 4 shows, and I usually do them like just randomly, just like my live Q&As. And I've just, since my surgery, I'm a really busy guy. I have a lot of goals, and my surgery set me back a lot further than I thought it would, even though I recovered very quickly. I'm really behind on a lot of things outside of my reselling business that I'm still catching up on. So yeah, I haven't done any Whatnot for those reasons, and I don't know how often I'm going to do Whatnots in the future. But because I have such fast sell-through rate items, like there's really not even really a need for Whatnot,
Yeah.
because everything just flows on Mercari and YouTube and eBay and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're doing like a knickknack and a Whatnot show weekly, right?
Not too weekly. The Whatnots I picked up because I've had things sitting around that I'm like, I got to get it to go. I got to move it out of here. I don't want to donate everything. Whatever doesn't sell, I'll try it again, because I have other things that I could add to it. So it's not like the exact same things people see. It's like a little new, fresh bundle of things. But I am filtering through it to like donate a Salvation Army so I could get a discount if I do plan on thrifting there again. So I'm not just trying to give stuff away. I'm trying to find even those little things of coupons to save on, for things. But Knickknacks is doing very well. I just got scheduled for another Knickknacks. So, and for those who don't know about Knickknacks, it's a marketplace run by the Crazy Lamp Lady. There's over 1,000 sellers and maybe several thousands of items listed. You could sell on there. It's more of like a curated place of vintage glass, home decor. There are some handmade things. If you have any questions about that, let me know in the comments, and I could just send you my referral link if y'all don't mind using it. But I like it. It's a curation of what I love to find and look for, and then my viewers who look for it, and then on top of all these other content creators, and some of them aren't content creators. There's a mix of everybody. They go there and look for stuff. You could list your stuff, and then you could also do live sales. I like it. I do very good on those. I could make several $100s in less time than I would on Whatnot, but I also have different things on each platform that it's not the same. I haven't got back to cross listing yet, but I am planning once I get to where I want of my milestones.
Yeah, no, the quick cash from a very niched audience on knickknacks. It sounds like a really good platform that's rolling for everyone. The concept of I like the concept of district. It's a good, like, who knows if it will fly or sink, but just the concept is I really do like the business model and the concept of it. What was that?
This is what I was showing you the last time.
The fig
Of the
Newton?
cloisonne. This is one of the orders that didn't go through. Sometimes that happens on Whatnot, knickknacks, that their payment information doesn't go through and they just give up on it. Not a problem. But these little things, I ended up buying 70 of these. I think I talked about it 3 videos ago. I said I was going to make $1,000. I paid $70, pretty much $1 each. I've already made over $1,300 just off of these little things, and I still
many do you
have
have
8
left?
left.
Oh yeah.
Was that?
I just asked how many you have left.
Yeah. I mean, some people might have been like, no way, whatever.
Uh-huh.
That's why I like to find jewelry and little things like that. I just had a video on my daily podcast the other day, and it has me with my long hair and earrings, which I
Yeah,
did
I saw that.
intentional. Maybe next time I'll talk about it, why I made my thumbnail that way, a little pretty like. But there were 3 pairs of Givenchy earrings, and this should make me some pretty good money. But lightweight, easy to pack and ship. Like, I love things like that, and I'm starting better for those types of items that doesn't take up a lot of my space.
Dude, you know what I'm really getting into lately? I'll show you a little bit.
Show us everything.
I never thought.
Ladies and gents, if you haven't followed us already, make sure you do so and check us out on Facebook. We do have group page. People are sharing information and they're sharing their eBay links if you want to do that. So share that with us, and also what you find, what you resell. Let's have some fun on there on Facebook.
I'm selling makeup, man. Mostly on Amazon, but I'm selling a lot of makeup recently. I never
Cosmetics
thought.
can be big money.
Oh, they sure can. I never thought that I would be selling a ton of makeup. Honestly, I never thought that I would be selling things on eBay if you would have asked me when I was 10. But I definitely never thought that I would be selling makeup. But yeah, Estee Lauder, Olay. Been finding every time I go to Vegas, I find really high-end makeup like Gucci and MAC. MAC is like a mid-tier. I find a lot of MAC stuff for and people are just like, yeah, 50 cents, $1. I need to learn the pronunciations of all these things if I'm going to start talking about them more. But do you know the YVES?
I've Saint Laurent.
Yeah, that one. This is a video coming out on my Picks channel soon, but this guy literally knew. He's like, so his wife sold me some Toomey and some Coach bags for $5 and $2. And then he sold me a bottle of Yais Saint Laurent, however you pronounce it. He's literally like, oh, this is new. It's worth $200. I'm like, how much do you want for it? And he's like, $5. And I bought it, and it's listed for $200. It was actually he actually knew his stuff, and he just wanted to get rid of stuff. Because she's like, yeah, I don't know if it'll say this in the video or not. I don't know if I got this recording, but she's like, no, yeah, he's a business owner, and he's always done really well, but now he's doing really well. So now he's getting me the Chanel and the Louis Vuitton. So I don't need this. I don't need the Coach or the Toomey anymore. I'm like, holy cow, this is wild.
Well, there's things. You reminded me. Rest in peace. One of my supervisors at the casino I used to work for, and his wife, who was she does very well in retail. and he was telling me he wanted to get into Amazon, and she's a big supporter of them. Like they were a dynamic duo.
Yeah.
I really miss the guy, but he was saying how her friends were telling her like, "Why do you want to do that? Like, ew, you want to step down to reselling and sell on Amazon? We're not there." And it made her feel like you can't be in our circle because
Uh-huh.
you're that way. And sometimes that status for people means a lot to where they don't want to mess with this because of how they look to their peers and they let go of it. I also ended up getting some stuff from an NFT guy here this past weekend. I didn't make a video, I wasn't recording. I was headed to my storage unit and I saw the neon signs and I was like, "Rrrr." Let me pull over. And the guy had some 5 hats. I think they're called Dazed Duck. I'm not sure about NFTs or things like that. I believe it's called Dazed Duck.
Hmm.
And there's some really cool quality hats. He was telling me about them. They go for like 50 retail, 50 or 60, and I got them for $2 each.
Yeah.
And I looked them up online and just the same as you. Then I asked them the magic question, what else do you have? And
Yep.
he was like, I got sweaters. And I was like, It's already hot, but sure, why not? So
Hmm.
I ended up getting a couple of them. And then I asked him, do you have Instagram? Can I get your number in case I told him my resells, like, if I could sell these and get more, like maybe I'll reach out to you and see if you have more. He's like, sure, man, give me your number. So we swapped numbers and got a good deal off of it.
Yeah. Again, opening your mouth and making connections to make your business easier and to scale it even higher.
He wasn't even budged by it. He was like $2, and he knew
Yeah.
the price. He was like, "Yeah, these sell for this. We gotta." He got them as freebies because I'm assuming he must know some people to get that type of stuff.
Yep.
And to them, is just give away, promote, advertise, and that's part of it as well. I see a lot of clothing companies here in Vegas that the brands would be at the flea market, they'll be at the Goodwill, and I'm like, this is not a normal thing. I think it's part of like even Ross. Some of the companies would put stuff in Ross, and a few years
Hmm.
later, now they're in Nordstrom. So their tactics are like, let me put my name here or my merch, and then move our way up to where people are more familiar. I can't remember this watch site, but they would always come up on these online estate sales or auction sales, and they'll
Yeah.
be like at $5, but their website will be that they're worth $600. So they're like kind of getting people to make them think they're
Uh-huh.
worth that much, and then they'll buy it, which sometimes they're not, sometimes they are. But Penguin was one of those brands. A lot of people like Penguin. It used to be in Ross. Now it's
Yeah.
worked its way up, $30, $40 t-shirts and polo shirts and stuff like that.
I had a friend that really liked Penguin in high school. Their shirts do okay, but their eyeglass frames do really well. I find their eyeglass frames in used condition they go for 40 to 80 used. So yeah,
Yeah.
keep your eye out for those
Yeah,
eyeglass
they
frames.
started in Ross where a lot of people were like, I don't want to rock that. Certain
Hmm.
things.
People are just weird. Like those people that were saying like you're gonna sell on Amazon. What do you do? Like people are just human psychology is nuts, man. I'll never forget. I'll never forget in a sales and business training back in the day. This guy said, "Always remember, there is more Louis Vuitton in economy seating than there is in first class seating. People are insecure. They want to keep up with the Joneses, and they want to portray this person that they're not." And so so like when you said that those ladies were like, "Oh my gosh, you're gonna sell on Amazon," I
Yeah.
just it even knowing the human psychology around it, it still just boggles my mind that people are like, I just can't even understand that, man. It's weird. Go out and make money. Go out and just do you and take care of yourself and your family, and then take
Have
care of the
fun, find
people
your
around you.
peace. Yeah.
I just don't understand it at all. It's really interesting stuff. But yeah,
Yeah.
we've been going for an hour lately. We can keep going to the hour and a half if we want to talk about a few more things, or we can go ahead and wrap things up.
Now we could wrap it up. I think it was good. It was very I would say faster talking about stuff, especially things we both know that our experiences with things like the private sales and stuff. I really hope people open up to that. And whether you're shy or not and you're looking, ask them, hey, what do you do with this stuff? Start off with free stuff. If you could pick it up and help them out. I helped the lady out. I'm going to go back there today here in a moment. That's probably going to be part of my daily vlog for today. And Jay Wright
Mhm.
did the same thing, still got that connection in there. And I'm pretty sure you see and hear more of that. I will be sharing more of that. And I can't wait for that hoard house in the future.
One last tip. because I know some of you guys do wholesale and you do Amazon FBA and FBM and things like that. Work your like just always ask for the manager at Walgreens and TJ Maxx, everywhere you go, and then just talk to them and be like, hey, when do you guys usually do discount? Do you have like a schedule where you go clearance items every 7 days, every 14 days, every 29 days? What was that schedule like? And they might not tell you, but if they do, that information is so valuable because your competition knows that already. So a lot of times you'll go to these stores and all of the clearance racks, not even clearance racks, but just everything is full price. And then you'll see an orange clearance tag and that thing is empty. Then you'll go through and you'll see all these makeup products or all these skincare products, and then an orange tag for clearance, empty. It's because your competition knows the schedule. So you may never be able to beat them there, but you can get there at the same time and then just pick a side of the store and it's just you against them and you get as much of the stuff as you can. But if you never learn markdown schedules or if you never open your mouth, you'll eventually learn those schedules over time from going enough, but you can just skip that and just say, hey, do you guys have clearance days? Do you have half off days? Do you guys have a day where you just go and clearance items? And I'm already starting to make a lot of money on Amazon because I asked those questions. So I'm already bumping shoulders with this guy that's a few years younger than me, and we like respectfully hate each other. It's so fun. We're like just making jokes the whole time. As he gets 7 items and I get 4 items a few rows down. It's funny. But yeah, you just gotta talk to people, make connections. Oh, open your mouth. I know I'm talking a lot right here at the end, but even if you're an introvert, you can still push yourself to open your mouth because it just takes 7 words to change your life. It's really that simple. I don't want to make things sound easy because they're not easy, but sometimes all it says is, hey, are you the manager? Yeah. Do you know when you guys put out clearance? Can change your life.
Yeah, that's in one of the 2 Goodwills over here that I asked, when do you get new racks? Because I don't pay attention to the time all the time because I'm just all over the place doing things here and out and about. But when I go to this one Goodwill, I've learned just by asking them, hey, when do your new racks come out? Same thing Jay said. They're like, oh, this is the time. They're not trying to hold it either. What they've actually opened up to at Goodwills here is what they hated before of people rushing the racks, the new shelves, the rolling shelves, because they're like, oh, we got to put this out. What they realize is that they did less work if they just put it off on the side, roll it out, and step away and let everybody do it for them, and then they have less to do. So they found that it actually works smarter, not harder. And go to other places like that too. Just ask, and also, Jay said, if you're an introvert, you don't have to have a conversation with them.
Mhm.
You could talk to them without having this ongoing talk and get to know each other. Hey, when are your new racks come out? You know, when you got any merch? And they might tell you, hey, thanks. And then you move on about your business.
Yep. And worst thing they can do is say no. And that's it. And you're like, okay, bye.
All right.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know? Oh, hey, do you guys know when you do clearance schedule? Oh, it's against our policy to share that schedule with employees. Oh, okay, thanks.
Cool.
Bye. I'll take my Cheetos and Sprite Zero, and I'll see you later. Yeah, whatever it is that you're buying at Walgreens.
That sounds good right now. I need some hot Cheetos. I haven't had them in a while.
But yeah, I don't know, guys. You may let us know. Let us know your true feelings if you guys think any of the tips that we said are pushing the boundary or are just over the limit. Let us know what you guys think and what you guys do. Were they useful? Did it spark you guys to do something new or make some changes? But I promise you guys, this is not a reselling thing. This is a entrepreneurship and industry thing. If you talk and if you make connections, you will be the top. You will be the top of your industry. You'll be that top 10%, 5%, 3%, 1%. And then it takes a lot more skills to get to the top 1%, the 1% that most of us will probably never make it to, but beside the point.
I concur.
Sicko mode. All right, guys. It was really fun having this conversation. Let us know in the comments about those tips. And we'll catch you guys next week. Adios.
See y'all next week.